I bring up money and they start to change the topic. When I say I'm gang related, I ain't talking logic. So come and say it to my face, cause I ain't with the gossip. My girl is from Jamaica, cause the best come from the tropics. My room is filled with so much.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the M&O Podcast, the best podcast on planet Earth running right now. Best believe that.
The best.
How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. I just got off a 12-hour shift yesterday, bro. But I was off today, so I slept it in. I'm good to go.
All these people unemployed and you over here working 12 hours, man.
Hey,
must
listen,
be nice.
I ain't gonna brag. I'm gonna just collect the paychecks and keep it moving, man.
Must be nice. Shout out to everybody, man. We hope everybody out there being safe.
Yeah.
You know, during this time of, I want to call it reconfiguring yourself. And
I like that.
You know, just adjusting to the new lifestyle. You know, you gotta adapt. So
yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like I always say, if you just looking at this as a way to stay locked up in your house, I feel like you're using that as an excuse to be lazy. Because right now is like the best time to just do whatever, bro. Literally whatever.
Man, and get creative, man. Like, I'm the type of person, I don't like being bored. I can't be bored too long. I'm always trying to find something to do. And sometimes it's a downfall to me because I end up doing too many things and trying to focus on one thing. So, you know, slows down me from the process of finishing it.
Yeah, I feel
so, you know, I really had to teach myself how to focus on projects and finish them before I take on other things. So people who sitting around doing nothing, shout out to you. I don't know how you doing it, but it ain't me, man.
Yo, think about it. We started this podcast during quarantine.
You feel me?
Think about that, bro.
I'm mad we hadn't been started it, but that just tells you how we have so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, we both are always involved in something, so, you know.
Yo, I used to be like that when I first started making music, man. I used to, like, write a song and then, like, finish the song halfway, and then I wouldn't touch that song for, like, another few weeks, bro.
Bro, growing up doing music, we did that all the time, bro. Like, I have so many 16s that never got finished because, I heard a new beat. Oh, man, heard this,
new
heard
inspiration,
this. And a lot of times, you know, I've been taught to try to finish something when you have it on your mind right there because of that reason, you know, because once you hear something else, and then I've had songs where I can't even find the same flow.
Yeah, I feel you.
When I went back to it, it was like, dang, I wrote this like this, and it just sounded different. So
I had to teach that to myself for sure, bro, because once you write, at least for me, once I write or I'm starting the process of writing one song, my brain just starts going, and I just start getting ideas, and I gotta like get them all down before I forget the way I thought of it. I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Nah, definitely. Yeah. That's exactly what it was. I promise you. Me and my boy will be sitting around the house and we'll be sitting there listening to a beat, ride to it, you know, write something to it, vibing, and then come back a week later and try to catch the same flow.
It's different. It's not the same, bro.
I even want to rap different. You know what I mean? So
it's not the same.
This is the artist, by the way, not me. I gave that up. It's 10 times, 20 times better than me.
You know, I'm taking that baton for everybody, you know?
Hey, definitely, man. That's what's up. So today, you know, we have another, what we going to call this?
Eventful podcast, bro.
Eventful. But we're not even going to call this a podcast.
We got a lot of good stuff to talk about today, man. We've been blessed, yo.
Definitely. But
we got a lot of good stuff to talk about during quarantine, man.
And we not calling this a podcast no more. We're going to mix it up.
Yeah.
We're going to call this the Pod Show.
The Pod Show. I like that. The M&O Podshow. That's the new name.
That's the new name, the Pod Show, because we want to make sure that you guys understand that you're going to be able to find us everywhere. You're going to have videos, the audio content. We're trying to make this big, so we don't even want to limit ourselves. You know what I mean? So
everything, bro.
From now on, that's what we're going to look at this as. So today we got some new topics. Hit them up with these new topics, sister.
Man, let me just tell you right now, bro. I had somebody DM me the other day, and they're like, yo, how do you find topics? Twitter. Literally just go on Twitter and just hit trending, and I just start picking interest and stuff. So we got the Pentagon officially released some UFO videos, bro. That one's like, they basically just confirm aliens, you feel me?
UFOs.
Yeah, dog. We got NCAA finally paying their players, or at least allowing their players to collect endorsements, which is like 1,000 years overdue. We got Aubrey the Goat Drake releasing a surprise mixtape. Aubrey the Goat, man. Releasing a surprise mixtape, where I guess you call it surprise. I do, because he just announced like the day before. LeBron, this is probably a big one. LeBron releasing the logo of what, or at least what we think is the logo of Space Jam 2 by, you know, he's wearing a cap on IG.
And bro, I have so much to talk about with that whole
yeah, that one's gonna be good. That one's gonna be good.
Definitely.
It's gonna bring up another MJ LeBron debate, but it's all good. We actually got the hometown team, Miami. They being the first team to actually get cleared to start opening their gyms up so their teams can actually practice. So like the players don't got to do it at home anymore. They can actually come back to American Airlines Arena to do it. And then we got some fan stuff. Somebody kind of, they just DM me. We got like we're gonna talk about basically.
You see, he has fans. I don't have any fans.
I call it fan request. What am I gonna call it? DM request.
Cicero has fans. It must be nice, you know.
Yeah, but I had somebody who's really looking forward to kind of watching what we do, and they DM me and it was like, yo, can you talk about how your work has evolved for both of us, because you do photography and videography and all that stuff, and obviously I'm into music, and now we coming together on the pod show, so we just gonna talk about how our work has evolved from when we first started until kind of now. And then we just gonna kind of mix it up with some fun stuff, like some what we do in our free time, get a little bit personal so that people can actually know us. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely, we want to make sure that you guys understand that we are just like you.
Yeah, 100%.
I always looked at life, and I learned this more. I can't say I always looked at it. I learned this more as I got older. That it's really two types of people: the people who are doing stuff and the people who are not.
Yep.
And anything that you want to do or you have on your mind, just do it. And I know a lot of things are scary at first. A lot of times we back away from things because the unknown, not knowing what we're getting into is scary. You know what I mean? But once you reach that once you climb that hurdle, man, you open up doors that you didn't even realize were possible for you to open. Bro. You know what I mean? So shout out to everybody who chasing their dreams. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's so many people doing podcasts." You're right. It is, and that's good.
That's good. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
I want my podcast to blow like your podcast. Like
I want my album to go #1 just like I want your album to go #1.
Like definitely. And at the end of the day, the reality of it is that some people gonna fall off anyway. That's so true. Only the strong survive. So good luck, cause more lie than you. My bad.
More lie than you.
But so let's get into these topics, man.
What you feeling first, man? What you want to pop off with, man?
I'm gonna save LeBron because
you want to save LeBron. Okay,
save LeBron.
We'll save LeBron for like more towards the end.
Let's get on this Pentagon.
Let's get on the Pentagon thing. Yeah. So if you haven't seen it already, these are officially or not officially. These were supposedly leaked videos. Mm-hmm. We were just watching the video before that we actually turned the camera on, and the Pentagon they basically officially released what we're calling, they don't want to exactly say it, but they're basically saying, hey, we got UFO videos and we're going to drop them out right now. And they basically got a whole reason as to why they're doing it now. I don't think either one of us believe their reason. I think we both have our own theories. Why do you think they're doing it now? Let me hear what you got to say about it.
Honestly, man, right now with everything that's going on with the coronavirus,
yeah, you're already about to say what I'm gonna say right now.
It's hard to believe where the direction that they want to everybody's mind to go.
Yeah,
and I'm a firm believer that as quick as we are willing to shoot down everything else, if we saw something like that, they would probably shoot it down before it even got a chance to be a story.
Okay.
And, just in case you guys don't know, if anybody comes close to us with anything, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I can't even fly my drone within 4 miles of an airport.
Yeah.
Opelika Airport is not that far from me. And if I go maybe a mile this way, I cannot fly my drone. It will tell me cannot take off.
Yeah.
Restricted airspace.
You got to turn around. So, once I see these things and I see these things on TV, and I'm a firm believer that fear can control people. 100%.
So when I see that they start putting out certain things, sometimes you got to question. You can't believe everything that you see.
Yeah.
What you think?
So that's a good theory, by the way. The reason I feel like the Pentagon, the government, whatever, that the reason they're releasing it now is because they know everybody's focus is on the virus. And I feel like if people didn't really have a direct focus, like let's just say, there's nothing crazy going on in the world like it usually is, and they decide to just drop something like this, the whole world will start to freak out. Because it's like you basically saying, hey, aliens have been here before. A lot of people are going to freak out. They're not going to take that lightly. But you do it now when everybody's kind of looking at something else, especially something like this virus that's just been running the world for the last few months. It's kind of getting brushed under the rug. I mean, there's people watching this right now that probably didn't even know those videos came out. And that's the whole point, I feel like. That's why they're doing it now, because they wanted like, hey, we got aliens. Boom. That's it. Y'all gonna forget about it. That's why I feel like they're doing it now, which is kind of smart if you think about it.
The thing is that if we did though, because I'm a firm believer too that all of those planets are not out there for no reason.
No, I definitely believe there's aliens.
There's too many other planets for me to feel like
there's
we're
no way
just the
we're
special
alone, bro.
ones.
Yeah, there's no way it's humans and that's it, and a bunch of rocks. I don't believe that.
We're the only ones.
I don't believe that, bro.
On Earth.
Yeah.
And all of these, how many other planets? I don't even remember. It's like
it's too many.
It's
bro.
too many planets for it to be that you can say that all of them are just empty.
Yo, there are astrophysicists that spend their whole lives, their career is literally just finding planets, bro. That's how many are out there.
And on top of that, there are planets that we can't physically go to.
We'll never get there.
And I think that that's a reason why.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why we can't never go there.
It's too damn far, bro.
You know, it's places on Earth we can't go. It's like, I don't know if people know this, but there's parts of the ocean that are so deep,
I think it's the Mariana Trench. It's something like 7 miles deep or something like that.
We can't go. We find new creatures here on Earth. So if we find new creatures here on Earth, what you know
what's crazy? I read somewhere, I can't remember where it was, and I don't remember how long ago it was, but it might have been the History Channel or maybe National Geographic. They basically was saying we know more about the moon than we do about our own planet.
Yeah.
So then imagine how little we know about the universe, bro.
Bro, I've heard that before, and like I said, once I found out that I was watching something on TV one day and they showed a new fish that they hadn't seen before.
I believe it.
And those giant squids.
Yeah, I was about to say the giant squids that be just chilling at the bottom of the
chilling
ocean.
at the bottom so deep that they can't even go down there because the pressure is so strong that it'll crush you. How many more secrets does this amazing world have? You know what I mean? So when you start looking at those things, it leaves your mind open. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like we're any threat or anything like that.
Nah,
like,
I mean,
if there are other aliens out there or any other life out of space,
I feel like we would know when they're coming. I feel like
pretty sure
we
would have had some beef by now. You know what I mean?
Some beef.
We beef with everybody. So like, come on, man. Like we ain't beefing with no planet yet. So I think we good.
Now you know what my dad believes, bro. My dad thinks that and he's not the only one. There's a lot of people that believe this, but he thinks that the pyramids, like the pyramids of Giza, weren't built by humans. He thinks those are built by aliens that were here a long time ago. And it's like, I know it sounds crazy to some people at first, but it's like once you start like watching stuff about it, basically like the time period that the Egyptians existed and those pyramids are built, and then you look at how the pyramids are constructed, it's almost too perfect for that time period. You know what I mean? I haven't made up my mind on it yet. I wouldn't say I know enough information about it, but I feel like you can't call people crazy for believing that, because the way those stones are placed, bro, it's like they're all placed exactly the same. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do they get all those blocks to the top? They don't have machines, so it's like they're not completely crazy for believing that. You know what I mean?
I tell you what bothers me is how we have all of these countries or all of these towns in these. I'm talking about Georgia, Arkansas, Iowa, Alabama, with these little wood houses that get blowed over every time some wind or something come. Yeah. And you just mentioned how perfectly built these pyramids were.
And them things are still there.
Years ago.
Millions, bro.
Hey.
Hundreds, thousands.
How were they able to make these things so strong back then?
And so perfectly aligned, bro.
But now you see these houses that just blow every time some wind blow hard. It bothers me to this day to understand when you see like a storm or something go through places like Alabama and Georgia.
Just wipe it all down.
Just wipe it. It's crazy to me. It's just crazy to me.
That's why I say you can't call them completely crazy for believing that. And like at the same time too, like an asteroid is coming towards this planet, right? We'll know if it's coming long before it gets here. I kind of find it hard to believe we wouldn't be able to do the same thing if UFOs on the way. I mean, bro, we'd have to come across some like super advanced, like to like make this shit invisible, bro. But you know, what are the chances, yo?
Man, I tell you what though, there's some UFO people or UFO aliens or some type of new technology come over and take over Earth. Yeah. Then it's our fault because like. I'm sorry. How we just let somebody just come over here and just take over is just like crazy to me.
My dad started joking. He's like, yeah, that's the aliens coming to take their planet back.
Man. Look here. If I ever come in contact with an alien.
What you gonna do? You better hope he's not 12 feet tall.
First of all, I want to see if they cool, because I just have a feeling that they would be cool. I don't think that they'll have beef.
Like in the movies and stuff like that, bro.
Bruh, E.T., man, what's up? You know,
E.T.
E.T.
come home.
I just don't see them coming here with beef. Like, what did we do to y'all? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't even know the people down the street, so you know I have issues with you.
Yeah.
But
all right, so let's go ahead and let's move on to this one's actually something that I'm very excited about, because I'm big into sports and I'm big into college sports as well. And that's the NCAA finally paying their players. Well, I won't say paying their players, because it's not like they're cutting everybody checks, but they're finally allowing their players to actually go look for endorsements, which is something that should have been done so long ago, bro. It's NCAA is profiting off of these players, and the players get absolutely nothing from it. How you feel about like the NCAA finally being like, all right, y'all can cash some endorsements? You know what I mean?
The reason I'm okay with it is because of the fact of how the NCAA has been robbing them all of this time.
Long time.
Now, if it wasn't for that, then I would be against it, because I look at it as if you're in school and it's just like any other extracurricular activity or anything else that you do within school.
Okay.
If I'm doing an internship, most internships are not paid.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, it's like, why would it be looked at as any different? Except they make millions off the kids.
Yeah, yo, the freaking jersey sales, like ticket sales, TV ratings, like for March Madness. So now you got the college football playoffs and stuff like that, and players get zero, bro. That is crazy.
If it wasn't for that, then I would look at it totally different. But when you look at the fact that you have so many schools making so much more money than the player would ever actually see in his whole career, off of his name. Look, perfect example, Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel built Texas A&M a stadium. Yeah. They admitted it.
Off the way he played.
They got a stadium. His coach got a $5 million contract. Like, how much did Johnny actually make in the NFL?
Not long. He didn't last long. He didn't last
long.
That's why.
Long at all.
Yeah.
Look how much he made the school that he came from.
Now, to be fair though, he didn't make a lot in the NFL because of himself, his own stuff he was doing.
Which is true.
But in college though, it's different, bro, because the way I feel about it is they might not be getting no over-the-counter money, but they definitely getting under-the-table money. The problem is the NCAA wants to get these players in trouble for taking money under the table when they should be getting it over.
And even that's part that I think was excessive. If I sign a jersey and sell it, I think Todd Gurley did that. Signed the jersey, right?
But when he was in college, when he was in NFL?
When he was in college.
When he was in college, okay.
And I sign a jersey and I give it to somebody, or I sell it to somebody. Or if I sign a jersey and somebody else takes it and sells it,
they just made the money I could have made.
They just made the money I could have made, which makes no sense when I'm the person whose name is on the jersey.
Yeah.
So that part never made any sense to me, because at the end of the day, we buy memorabilia all the time.
You got a Jordan and an Iverson jersey hanging right there.
Everywhere. So you're trying to tell me that as a player, right, that I can't sign a football or something that you're gonna make money off of, and I can't make any money off of? It makes no sense to me.
Yes, you get hurt in the regular world for that, bro.
And let's talk about getting hurt. The players, let's say you make all of this money for your school, your college, and then you get hurt in the last game of your senior year, or you get hurt in the first game of your NFL,
and your career is never the same.
And you never the same. It, to me, it's not fair, like, and it's so unfair in a way that it's literally disrespectful.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they make so much money, and it's what bothers me more than anything. And I'm real passionate about this, because you know how we are with sports, and I mean coaching. I know so many players who were not top-notch players, who may have blown out their Achilles, blown out their ACL, and they get nowhere near the type of attention that a superstar player does. When I'm on the same field playing for the same team as him. To me, that is not fair. I know players right now who were in college who tore their ACL and did not get the same type of treatment.
Yeah.
Doctors, not even the same level of doctors looked at them. The best player gets the best doctor.
He gets all the time he needs, everything, yeah.
Which
Rehab, everything.
Which, to me, is not because they care. It's because they're worried about their investment.
That's the moneymaker.
Yeah, that's the person that's going to make the money, because if they cared, then they would treat every player that way. So that tells you right there that their main focus is not the players or the athlete. Their main focus is to make money, and to me, that's not fair.
Not at all. You basically treating them like they're an asset, but for financial reasons, not for your team. You understand what I'm saying? Because the way you think about it, right? When you hand out, look, we'll use the NBA for example, right? You hand out NBA players these big contracts, right? You're not necessarily only paying them for their talent. You pay them because you know all the money they're gonna bring you.
Bingo. And that's why these contracts are so huge, people.
Yeah.
That's a great point Cicero just made. The reason you see these guys making 80 and 100 million, like somebody made a comment about Aaron Gordon needed to focus on the playoffs instead of making a diss track about Wade.
Yeah.
And my response was, he got $84 million contract.
$84 million contract.
So,
bro,
I mean,
for
I'm
playing
pretty
the
sure-
way that he played.
I'm like, hey, I will make a few diss tracks
Yeah.
myself. I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? And look, and here's what people don't realize too. By doing that, he's expanding his brand, bro.
Big time.
Because think about it this way, right? Damian Lillard, since D-Wade is always been my all-time favorite player, right? D-Wade, Kobe Bryant, those guys, right? But right now, out of guys who are currently in the league, Dame is my favorite player. I love watching Dame play. I'm not really a Trailblazers fan, but I'm a big Dame fan. Dame is an amazing rapper too, bro. Dame got deals with Adidas now. He did something. He did, I think, this commercial with Pusha T. He
Branding,
performs.
man.
It expands your brand when you do stuff other than basketball, and that's what teams pay for when they give you those big contracts.
On top of that, him just being in a dunk contest.
Yeah.
See, I don't think people understand. People like Aaron Gordon know, and he might not admit it, but he's not going to the finals with the team he's on right now. So, you know, why not brand myself? Why not expand myself outside of basketball?
So when it's time to get a new contract, it's gonna look nice.
That's the reason LeBron went to LA. That's the
Hollywood,
reason Shaq
man.
went to LA.
Hollywood, baby.
Like
Yep.
it's the same reasons that, you know, guys in the past did it, because they saw that they could make money outside of basketball. Now, when you understand that the player is taking control of his career, his life, then you understand that, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you look at the fact that, okay, you got players that's coming out of high school, or not even say it's coming out of high school, coming out of college. And immediately before he plays one game, they already are advertising him as the #1 overall,
Like Zion and stuff, like when Zion first came in.
Oh my God.
What's his name? LaMelo Ball's like that now. Now, to be fair though, LaMelo played overseas, so it's a little different. But it's like that when guys come out of high school and out of college and stuff like that. They already projected to go #1 wherever they go.
The reason Zion went to the NBA so fast, it's not just because of how good he is. Let's just be honest. He's a good player.
Yeah, he is a good player.
But
he's got a big brand too.
We already
his body
know
is his brand, I feel like.
They couldn't wait to cash in. You had, and I'm not talking about Zion. I'm talking about everybody else.
Yeah.
They could not wait to cash in on the probability of what he was going to bring to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you look at that, you understand, like, hey, I tell everybody, get your money.
Yeah,
Get your
100,
money,
bro. Get your money.
Get your money.
He's one of those guys that should have never went to college. Should have came straight out of high school.
And it wouldn't have been an issue.
And it wouldn't have been a difference at all.
Easily.
He wasted. I want to say wasted, but he spent a year in college he didn't need to spend. You know what I mean?
He made Duke millions.
Yeah.
For a year.
Now Duke would have made the money anyways, but
he made
best
him a
believe
few
he
more
made him a
million.
lot more. Yeah, he made him a lot more.
And it's just like that game that he had against, was it Kentucky or I forgot which game it was with Obama and them, everybody was at this game.
It might have been Kentucky.
The game when
I
he
can't
blew
remember.
his shoe out. When he played in the Kentucky game. The game when he blew his shoe. To me, it was funny because you had everybody. President Obama was at this game. Everybody was there, and then Zion breaks his shoe,
shoe,
and then doesn't play the game. To me, I'm a firm believer in how God work and everything.
Yeah.
That he was getting everybody's attention. Y'all gonna stop what y'all doing for this basketball game. Watch this. Boom. And Zion's shoe just exploded.
And guess what that did, though, bro?
Bro, it made the anticipation even more.
It basically, it opened up the shoe conversation before he even got to the league, bro. Now, did he go and blow the shoe out on purpose? Probably not, because I don't think you could just blow out a shoe on purpose. But it's like that goes to show you, not necessarily the player, that goes to show you the brand that Zion Williams is, bro. Blows his shoe out, and nobody actually cares about his knee. They care about what shoes he's going to wear when he gets to the league. That's called branding. That's a perfect example of them not caring about the player.
And the reverse branding of that wasn't it Paul George shoe that he was wearing?
Yeah. I think it was Paul George's Nikes he was wearing or something like that.
Those, man.
I can't remember what it was, but and when you talked, you hit it before, talking about players taking their ownership, right? Here's how I feel. I feel like Magic and Bird brought the idea of branding to the NBA first, to the actual league, right? I feel like MJ was the one who opened the idea of players taking ownership of their own brands, because his Jordan brand is, I mean, my goodness, we don't even got to talk about the Jordan brand. And then I feel like in terms of players taking control of their actual careers and where they play, I feel like LeBron was the one who did that, because he took, before LeBron decided to go team up with D-Wade and Bosh down here in Miami, before that, it was you never left your team.
Now when
or you got traded.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
When you talk about basketball, from what I know, Dr. J was the first one.
Yeah, he was
with
probably
Chuck Taylor shoes.
Yeah,
but
with the afro and everything.
We didn't have the type of marketing ability then.
That's why I said Magic and Larry brought that to the league first.
So when you look at, by the time Magic and Larry brought that, and let's be honest, you had the black athlete versus the white athlete,
and it was
their peaks.
You also have to think about where Dr. J came from. He didn't come from the NBA. He came from the ABA, which was kind of the forgotten NBA. And when he got here, he didn't really have that known opponent. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo.
The reason Magic and Bird made the league so big is because they were opponents.
And they wanted to put that Boston hard-working mentality against the Hollywood LA.
It was perfect. It was so perfect.
His nickname was Magic.
You could not have written it any better, man.
For the NBA, it was beautiful, and Michael was a gift.
Yeah.
But this is what, I think that basketball players kind of had an advantage with it, because when it comes down to football, you know who the first player that I saw or noticed that had that ability?
Who was it?
Was Deion
Sanders.
And there's a video, and I'll post it in the link.
He's probably the greatest defender of all time,
bro. Deion was supposed to be drafted by the Detroit Lions, and they have an interview of him draft day with all his chains on. Even the lady who was interviewing him said, "Looks like you're wearing your signing bonus right now." and she asked him. She said, "Did you think you was gonna go somewhere else?" And he said, "Yes."
Yeah.
And Deion Sanders' exact words were, "I thought I was gonna go to Detroit. I was nervous," and he said, "Man, I would have asked for so much money, they would have had to put me on layaway."
Who y'all drafted by? I can't remember.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, the Falcons. That's right.
And he told him, he said, if I would have got drafted by Detroit, I would have asked for so much money, they would have had to put me on layaway. That was Deion owning his brand then.
Yeah. Back before it was a thing.
John Elway was drafted to a team that he didn't want to go to, and he told him no.
Yeah.
It didn't take.
He ended up winning rings too.
It took those players who knew that they were that good, which is funny because it brings you to the documentary of the Jordan documentary with Pippen, and everybody was talking about how Pippen wasn't making that much money, which is crazy, which he really wasn't.
He wasn't. Jordan took like the whole salary cap.
But even then, that was later. At first, Jordan was getting robbed.
Yeah, Jordan was getting robbed early in his career.
Oh man, the way the NBA was making money off him was ridiculous compared to what he was making.
And then he went and flipped it and started his own shoe and blew up.
Yeah, but when you look at the fact that people like Scottie Pippen accepted those contracts, to me, Scottie Pippen didn't know he was Scottie Pippen. Because for him to accept, I think he was an $18 million contract for like 7 to 9 years.
I think it was 7 years too, yeah.
Bro, that's ridiculous to what they were making.
You know what he might have realized that he was Scottie? It might have been when MJ left. When MJ retired and Scottie had those 2 years alone. And if it wasn't for that Knicks call, I think you know what Knicks call I'm talking about in the playoffs. They go to the finals. I think that's when Scottie realized that he's a brand too. Because before that, he was just looked at as a good all-star. You know what I mean?
And even before he was looked at as a good all-star, he signed the contract coming into the league, and I don't think at that time he knew that what he was.
Yeah.
People like Dion knew from day one. Dion told you, "Hey, no, you're gonna pay me."
Yeah.
Like from day one. But the problem is that if you don't back that up, you get looked at as arrogant. You get looked at as everything else. When at the end of the day, you're just trying to sell your brand.
Yeah. All right, so last basketball topic before we move on to like kind of our personal topics. How you feel about the hometown team being the first team to kind of get clear to bring their players back into their actual gyms? Supposedly the NBA is going to allow their teams back May 8th, or at least that's the target date. But Miami got clear. I think it was today, or it might have been yesterday. The mayor cleared, said they can go back to the arenas and stuff.
I'm trying to figure out why we're going back first.
Why
other
we're the
than
first ones.
the fact of I hope that it's because we've shown the best improvement in fighting this virus. But if that's not the reason, if it's any other reason than that,
Yeah, I
then
need to know why.
Yeah. If that's not the main reason, I'm really concerned because, like I said, I understand we need to make money. I know people want to make money. I understand people tired of being home. But at the end of the day, I hope everybody take full precaution because I don't want this to be something that we have to deal with again. And I'm confused at how they're talking about we may get another wave of this. And I'm not understanding how do you predict that another wave.
You know why I think they said we might get another wave? Because people are not taking it seriously.
And
if you stayed in your home, there probably wouldn't be another wave.
And that's what scares me with reopening too fast. So
yeah, but it's not, because I read up on it earlier today. It's not just, hey, the whole squad come back in and we're going to all practice at the same time. There are still limitations. So I think it's only 3 players allowed in the gym at a time. The trainers have to be at least 10 feet away. They got to wear masks and gloves. I think the players have to wear masks as well. So it's not just, hey, we're going to all come together and run scrimmages and do push-ups where we high-five and stuff like that. Like it's still limitations to it.
But what I don't understand, and players like C.J. McCollum are gonna love this because he doesn't even have a hoop.
We saw that earlier today.
$1 million players with no basketball hoop at home. I've talked about it on the last show. I don't understand how this is possible.
Yeah.
I got a hoop.
I got a hoop too.
No, dude. But to me, what you gonna let just the top players in? Like the bench players, they're not gonna be allowed in the gym. Like, how's that gonna work?
That's why Jimmy Butler sent the whole team basketball hoops. He's like, no excuses, man. Y'all need to practice at home. And knowing the Heat, they probably were still getting workouts in, man, for sure. Miami's one of them teams that no excuses.
Oh yeah, Spo don't play, man. He does
and Pat
a
Riley's
calorie count.
Bro, I posted it on IG when as soon as the news came out. I was like, oh yeah, Miami gonna be back in the gym tomorrow.
Hey,
and still in shape because Spo and Pat don't play that.
They
bro.
don't play, man.
You're not coming in here overweight. You coming in here still in shape, like the season never stopped.
They pinch your belly.
Yeah,
I'm talking about they test your skin.
Yeah, and if you over a certain amount of body fat, you can't play. They don't play down here, man.
But see, this is what I don't get. And with the technology that we have, and I hope that things are getting to this point. Why can't they just test all the players as they come in? As the players come in, they should be able to test. I mean, I understand that they're not able to get the results back instantly, but to me, we should be close. We should be close to a point to where we could test and kind of have an idea if you're, good enough to come in.
I think right now the best one is like you take a test and you'll know within 36 hours or something like that, which is pretty good. That's not bad at all.
No,
but it's like I feel like if you want to slow the virus down, you got to get a little quicker, just a little bit. At least try to get it within the same day, at least.
Exactly.
I know that's probably asking a lot, but
hey,
what it is, man.
That's the times that
we need a lot right now. Yeah,
we need a lot right now. Yeah. And it's one of those things. It's going to be very interesting to see how other teams follow suit. Because if I'm the team who's sitting back waiting, what am I waiting for to see if another team makes a mistake? If if you're the last team to open up, you're gonna be scrutinized if your team is not winning.
Slow, like kind of slow when the season come back.
Yeah. So you putting the other owners and other coaches and you putting them in a predicament to have to follow suit because if the Heat are opening up, then everybody else is like, oh, we got to open up because we can't let the Heat get ahead.
Yeah. Miami's already really good. I think they were 4th or they might have been 5th seed. They was already balling. So it's if they come back playing better than they did before, everybody's gonna be looking at, damn, we should have opened up May 1st like they did.
Man, it's gonna be interesting to see because I'm worried about injuries, bro.
You think it's a rush to open the gyms back up this early? Like I was telling you not yesterday, last show, the NBA really trying to salvage this season, man. They don't want it to run into the football season because they're gonna lose out on ratings. Especially if the finals comes around football time, it'll probably be like the lowest watched finals ever, bro.
On top of that, I'm just worried about injuries because when you hear players, CJ McCollum, I'm gonna keep saying this, when you can't, when you haven't been shooting.
Yeah, yo.
Bro.
If you're a basketball player, you know, man. If you go too long without balling and too long without shooting, you going to come back dribbling the ball off your foot. You know what I'm saying? You're going to
That's
airball.
when you get the ankle injuries, the Achilles,
Nah, I feel
the
you 100.
ACLs and all that.
Ball players know.
I just don't like it. And we talking about coming back and going hard. Because
like
the season's
playoff
so
kind
short.
of. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see. So we're gonna look out for that, man.
That's why I sent you that thing on IG the other day. Bearded LeBron is gonna be different because he's still working out in the house.
Bearded LeBron. Have you guys seen Bearded LeBron, man? I told you everybody ain't fresh like Cicero over here. Me and LeBron go to the same barber. He been missing in action.
Oh man, that's a good one. So last two topics before we wrap it up. These gonna be interesting. I feel like people are gonna really relate with these. How long you been doing photography and videography for?
Bro, it's so funny. I was thinking one day, right? And I realized it. I have been taking pictures since I was in elementary school.
Really?
I was always the kid with a camera. I had a little Kodak.
The little Kodaks where you had to go to the store and have them printed out.
Bro, I had all of those. And every field trip, I was the one taking pictures. I
had to count your pictures.
And let me tell you, I still have a lot of my pictures. So some of y'all better not at Aki. Because, I was taking pictures before this social media stuff blew up. And I got a few of y'all that I might just need to release if you act funny.
Put you on blast.
But, yeah, man, let me tell you something about, like, I always was the guy taking pictures, and I never realized it. And I started taking it serious, I would say about, right now, I would say for myself, it's been about 3 years.
Since you, started going hard at it?
For myself.
Okay.
But as far as doing photography, because I work with different studios and stuff, and, I've been into for about 6-7 years now. But for myself, I would say it's about the third year of me going, 100 for myself and building my company. And I love it, man. It's something that I'm real passionate about. I love seeing people's face, when they see their pictures. I love doing weddings.
Yeah, that's always exciting to see the final product, man.
I like when people, are so happy when they watch the video. And my whole thing with my company is that I want people to be able to feel like a superstar. You know what I mean? And I get a kick out of doing that. Yeah. Even filming you, doing music video, I love the challenge. I love to create. So, it's something that just fits perfectly for me. And my goal is to be doing mainly that,
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's what's up.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely fun. I mean, obviously the final product is always gonna feel good. But I feel like the best part, or at least my favorite part when we do stuff like that, is actually putting ideas together while we're doing it and just watching it come together. Because, me and you got that kind of chemistry where it's just like we just look at something and we be like, oh, yeah, this.
We don't even have to plan stuff.
Yeah, we don't plan.
And it comes out better than we even thought.
We don't. Let me tell y'all, we don't plan our photo shoots. I mean, we'll pick a spot and I'll pick an outfit I'm aware, but it's like we don't be like, oh, okay, we're going to do this. We just show up and we just do it on the spot and it comes out fire every time.
Every time, man. And I think that's just like, one of the things I love about it as well. And I'm pretty sure you're the same way with your music.
Oh, 100. Yeah.
Like, when you sit down and you get in that zone, it's different. It puts you in a place that you're not in. That it puts you in a place that you're not normally in when you're not doing it. And that's how I feel when I'm doing my photography. When I'm not doing photography, my mind's going 1,000 miles an hour. When I got a camera in my hand, I'm all locked in.
Everything slows down and just kind of just narrows into that. It's like you're still going fast on that, but it's only that. No, I feel you, bro. It's when I first, let's see, I've been a hip hop fan my whole life. I've been listening to music since I was like 7, 8 years old. When I really got into it, when we would go to tournaments and stuff, and they would have music playing. That's kind of how I kind of got exposed to it a little bit, and I kind of just started exploring on my own. I mean, bro, I'm a nerd. I'm a hip hop nerd, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a nerd, hip hop nerd. I watch interviews. I just could name stuff off the top of my head, and I started rapping, not seriously, but I'll start rapping when I was probably like maybe 14, 15. I'll kind of just rap on my own and just kind of kick little freestyles and write stuff. I think I actually got one at home. The earliest rap I ever wrote, I was 9 years old. It was trash, but it's the first one I ever wrote. And then 14, 15, I'll start playing around. I'll do it around the homies, and the homies are like, yo, you kind of nice with it. You should try it out. And I finally had enough people tell me that I should try it out that I actually did it. I put out my first song when I was 17. I think I was still a sophomore in high school. I put my first song out on SoundCloud. We did the first video. Remember we went to Wynwood to go through that. That's when I had the flat top way back in the day. And man, I've gotten so much better since then, bro. The flows got better. My voice has gotten better. I feel like my lyrics have always been there, but I've been able to diverse more with my lyrics now. Back then, I was a hardcore spitter back then. I would just spit and tell stories. Now I could like make bops and I could do a whole bunch of stuff. And that comes with being a nerd. That comes with studying the game and realizing, you know, all right, I need to get I need songs that I could put in different markets. Because if I'm a spitter, that's the only people I'm the only people I'm gonna appeal to are people who like that stuff. And let's face it, in hip hop nowadays, being a spitter is a very small market.
Yep.
It's a market for hardcore people like myself. In order to expand and grow and expand my brand, I've realized that I gotta start making different kinds of music. But it's still stuff you enjoy. You don't want to just make songs you don't like because it's not gonna be authentic, and people can tell when it's not authentic. You want to make stuff in different lanes, but stuff that you enjoy. That came with me listening to more music and realizing, yo, R&B is dope as fuck. Like, people don't give the R&B its respect. R&B is super hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's points in time where R&B was better than hip hop. Like, R&B's hard.
And I think it's so funny that you say that because I always think back to how 50 came in.
Yeah, on a mixtape grind.
And he was dissing people for doing that, and then he started doing it.
And he started doing it.
Because he already knew.
You can't discredit it.
Ja Rule and Ashanti and those classic, those songs
old classic R&B joints you could play now and they're still hard, man.
Those songs were classic. Yeah. And everything you said goes back to the point that you was making about Drake. So, you know, I totally understand where you're coming from.
That's over time. Because, look, when I first got into hip-hop, my favorite rapper was Eminem. Because Eminem's a spitter and I'm a spitter. And I was like, yo, what the? He over here, miracle, spiritual, lyrical. And I was just like, oh, my God, the way he putting words together right now is just, you know. But then I started listening to music. I started becoming more knowledgeable on it. And that's when I started becoming a bigger fan of guys like Drake, guys like J. Cole, guys like Kendrick, those artists, you know what I'm saying? I realized that, dang, those guys could do more than just spit. And that's when I realized that there's so much more to just being a spitter and so much more than just being an artist and being able to expand and do so many other things. And that's definitely how my music has slowly evolved. I obviously still got ways to go. Like, I want to learn how to sing and become more melodic. But it's like, you know, I got bops now. I got stuff like Big Up that's on the new stuff. And so that's all a part of growing. That's kind of how I've evolved. And then for the future, I guess what I'm looking for in the future is being able to feel confident making anything and to feel like I can make anything and not feel limited when I hop on a certain song. It just be like any artist can send me anything and I can hop on anything. I feel like once I reach that, I feel like musically there won't really be anywhere else for me to go. I feel like at that point it'll be about brand and expanding to other stuff.
And you know what? I'm glad that you said that because that's the same way I look at my photography. Mm-hmm. I was working with a studio, and what bothered me with the studio is that we would show up to do video. Right. And then I would look around and they had another photographer there. Okay. And I always used to ask the people I was working with, why don't we do both? Mm-hmm. Why are we here just doing video? You know what I mean?
Videos and pictures, like we always do.
Like we always do, you know? And because to me, that was normal, you know? And, you know, I go to a venue, let's do the video, now let me get some pictures.
It's like, so much more content, man.
It's so much more content.
You get so many more options.
Yes. So then I started paying attention, and it started making me evolve. And then what did it for me was I went to an event, and it was a lady who was retiring. Mm. And they rented out this big, beautiful venue, and they had almost 300 people show up. And I'm talking about cater. I'm talking about it was.
You said awesome. She was retiring?
Yeah, she was retiring.
And they must have loved her.
I think she was like big time with the IRS or something. Like she was big time, and she was retiring. And I didn't find out till later. Yeah, we were hired by the photographer.
Really?
The photographer he didn't do video, which goes back to my whole point. Yeah. He only did pictures. And he had a photo booth set up, but she wanted video. So he went and hired the company that I was working with to do the video. I'm like, if he's paying us, how much you think he's making?
Yeah.
And, I started, sticking with that, and I understood that, no, you have to have options. You have to be able to provide a client with multiple things that will separate you from anybody else. So
100%.
now I could do anything for you. Like, and that's my goal. I don't care what you ask me for. I'm willing to do it. You want to do underwater photo shoot? Let's do it. You want to do a movie, a short film, a rap, whatever you want, a wedding? I got you. Baby showers, I got you. Because I don't feel like my company should be limited. It's like you said, as an artist, you don't want your talent to be limited. Because you get to a point to where it's like, I want to expand my brand to the maximum. You know what I mean? And the sky's the limit when you go into it with that mindset.
You give yourself and a client both more options.
Yeah.
Debbie,
sure. There's nothing that a client can come to me now and tell me and I can't do it. It's even if you say you want to jump out of an airplane
and film,
I'm gonna hand you a GoPro. I'm not jumping with you, and I'm gonna have my drone and I'm gonna follow you.
Yeah,
I ain't jumping
out of a plane is asking a lot, yo.
Hey, but I'm gonna sit there. I got your footage. I'm gonna be on the ground waiting for you. You know what I mean? So it's just what it is. It's like it's evolving, and it makes me feel good to know that I can offer so many different things. Because to me, even when I call a client and talk to a client talks to me, and they ask me all the time, I love being able to say, what you need, we'll accommodate you. You know what I mean? So, that's where I want my business to be. I want to brand it to the point and expand it to the point where I have, other people more than the people I'm working with. But, a company that can come and satisfy all your needs at one time. And, that would make me happy. So that's my main goal right now.
And you'll always keep in mind, once you actually get the business like big and running, always keep in mind, you don't have to know everything to be a CEO. Bro. You can always, like me, right? I hope one day, because I want to get into acting at some point in the future too, right? Like, I write films and stuff in my free time, right? I'm not the greatest math person, right? That doesn't mean I have to be good at math to go own my own business. I could hire somebody who's great at math.
Bingo.
Find somebody I trust and hire them to be good with the math. You know what I'm saying? Or me, right? I'm not great with pictures and videos, right? I could go get somebody that's great and we could work together and do it, right? You don't have to know it all to be it all. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what we was talking about earlier in this whole podcast about people being scared of
to actually do it.
To actually do it is because we are scared naturally as people to hop into a realm that we don't know.
You're being controlled by fear.
Yeah, we're being controlled by fear, big time. When you don't know something, a lot of times it's scared to hop in when you don't realize that the business mind doesn't say that. The business mind says, how can I hire somebody to do that for me? And once people start understanding that, then you could look at your business and you could look at your opportunities in a whole different way, because you open up more doors by being able to say, if I can't do this, I'm going to find somebody else who can and just outsource them to do it. Yeah. And most of the time, we try to take on too many hats. Even with me, I learned that my biggest problem was I wanted to learn everything about a camera. I wanted to learn everything about photography. I wanted to be the best photographer that I could possibly be, which necessarily does not make me the best brand. I'm a great photographer. I'm going to constantly continue to learn my craft. But if I can't brand my craft, if I can't market, then it's pointless.
You're doing it for no reason.
It's pointless because I'm at a point now that I'm good enough to do anything I need to do with a camera, but I need to be able to expand my company, and I cannot be focused on expanding my company if I'm sitting in a classroom or somewhere trying to study a camera. I'm at a point now where I know enough that I need to. Now I need to hire people. And I need to hire somebody to do my marketing for my Instagram.
Because you feel like you're not good at it and stuff.
Yeah, and I don't have the time to do it no more. I want my focus to be on building the brand of the company more. So I need somebody else to run my social media.
Okay.
I need somebody else to run this. You know what I mean?
Which is normal, by the way. Like, there are people that are hired just to run your social media accounts, bro.
Normal.
Like, that's so normal.
And I tell all of you young folks who know how to use these.
Which is all of them, by the way.
Hey, you know how many older people don't know how to do half of the things?
And they'll hire you. For fun. And they'll hire you to do that, man.
The stuff you guys do on TikTok, which is so funny, like, it's basically you can promote for people. Like, you can do so many things that people don't know how to do. And people just play with it all day.
Yeah.
They don't realize it's a tool. Like, I see people who have the most expensive cell phone just to use it as a phone. Makes no sense to me. Like, if I'm gonna get the what is the iPhone 11,
the 11 Pro and stuff like that, yeah.
Just to use it as a phone,
when it has like an amazing camera, bro, and you can like set it up and take great pictures.
And that's another great thing I always tell people. It's like you get an amazing camera, but then you shoot on auto.
Yeah, you shoot on auto. You don't play around with the
settings.
settings.
You shoot on auto.
Yeah.
You got $1,000 camera
with a whole bunch of settings, bro.
$1,000 camera in your hand, but you shooting on auto.
Yeah.
Telling you, people got to open up the horizon.
That's how you can tell the difference between a photographer and an actual photographer. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I done got to the point now where I see people, and this is what people don't understand. There's a difference between a good picture and a professional picture.
Mm-hmm.
iPhones and cell phones, don't get me wrong, they take
good pictures.
Great pictures.
They don't take professional ones, though, man.
But a professional picture is different. It's just different.
And the mindset behind it is different, too.
Even when you do video. Yeah. There are certain strategic things that go into making a movie. There's a platform. There are rules to follow.
Yeah.
Certain shots need to look like this. It does not need to be the sharpest shot. It needs to be the best shot, which is two different things.
100, yeah.
And everybody don't understand it. I could have a crystal clear photo, but if the crystal clear photo is showing stuff that doesn't need to be seen, then it's pointless.
I've worked with you long enough to know what you're talking about. The background is just as important as who actually is in the picture. Yeah,
definitely, man. And a lot of times, you can make or break a shot, or just like even with your music, you could change the whole direction of a song with one bad verse. One bad line, you know what I mean?
One bad breaking the beat or something like that. Yeah,
and I don't think people understand that's the stuff that we focus on, So
it's crazy though. I feel like people confuse that for, I'm a perfectionist. Me personally, let me tell you, I don't think perfectionists exist. There's no such thing as, I'm a perfectionist. You're not a perfectionist, because perfect doesn't exist. But I learned as I was like maybe a freshman in high school, perfection doesn't exist, but if you chase perfection, you're bound to catch excellence. It's like they say
that again, bro. So tell it to them again. I don't think they heard that.
There's no such thing as perfection, but if you chase perfection, you're bound to catch excellence, right? So
I need to write that down. Cicero over here spitting facts, y'all.
Like that, you've heard the saying before. I think it's shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars.
Talk to
it's
him,
the same
man.
thing. That's just a simpler way to say it.
This guy, right?
It's just a simpler way to say it, right? The sky is so huge, right? You shooting for the moon, right? You probably might not reach the moon, right? But you're going to land on a star somewhere, and you're going to be bright because you're a star, right? Perfection is very, very small, right? You might not catch perfection, but everything surrounding perfection, the closer you get to it, the more excellence you're reaching. That's why they say don't aim low and aim high, because if you miss, you're going to still end up high. You know what I'm saying? If you shoot low, even if you get what are you expecting if you shoot low? So there's no such thing as perfection. This is only excellence, and you catch that by chasing perfection, for sure.
If my mic wasn't connected, I would just drop the mic, because I'm ending the show right there. That's the end of the podcast for me. I'm done. Hey, you already know where you can find me, man. It's More Live Than You, Bakerboy, Rondell Forbes.
You already know where you can find the best artists on planet Earth under 30 years old.
There you go. Talk that talk, man.
Young Cicero, YOUNGCICERO, 2 O's, don't forget.
All right, y'all already know they around for another the pod show.
But me, I paid the price and still made profit, straight deposits. Yeah, flow illum in a sick bay. Polo on me like I'm Big Zay. Tighten up, that's what the kids say. Smoke another spliff by midday. I cried straight for like 6 days. Then I heard him say, tighten up, move fast